Hi everyone, Letty here. Today I'm going to share with you another craft with me video where we use September 2021 Clubby P box to make project number 4, which is 5x7 cards using one sheet wonder. So September 2021 Echo Park Clubby P, this is a bi-monthly subscription kit featuring Fall by Echo Park. This is project number 4, which is 5x7 cards using a one sheet wonder. The main item I'm using are these 6x6 papers from the paper pad. I'm going to use 6 papers to make 6 5x7 cards. And this paper is double-sided, which is to our benefit here, and you'll see why in just a bit. I'm going to put the rest of it up. I will come back and pull out some of additional items from this kit to use for decoration. I'll show you just a bit. The main thing that I'm also going to be using is this one sheet wonder for 5x7 card template by Jess Crafts. This is one where you can take one 6x6 piece of paper, cut it down a certain way, and make a 5x7 card and have no scraps left over. So I'm taking out my sheets, I'm going to cut them down and make these cards. Now this card is a vertical layout. I'm going to switch it and do it as a horizontal layout. I already have my card bases cut up and I already have my mats already prepped off camera as well. So for the 5x7 card bases, I went ahead and already made these. I just used some 8.5 by 11 cardstock. What you do is you cut it at 10 inches on the 11-inch side and then at 7 on the 8.5-inch side. And that makes your 5x7, which is template or card, which is 7 by 10. You fold it in half and that is your 5x7 card base. So it's super easy. I've already made that off camera. Now this template also gives you the dimensions for your large and smaller mats, card mats. I am going to change mine up just a tiny bit. So you see here where hers is just a tiny bit smaller. I'm going to bump it up to 4.5 by 6.5 for my kind of outside larger mat. And again, I will be doing a horizontal orientation for my card because I'm going to be making little banners instead of just having the rectangles. I also am adding an additional outer layer of cardstock, which is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. I pulled out a couple of different colors here and you can kind of see 4 3/4, 6 3/4. That's going to leave me just a very small border all the way around. And then I will layer on the foiled mat, which was 4.5 by 6.5 right on top of that. So again, I'm going to leave just like a 1/8 border all the way around. And instead of wasting all that foil in the middle of that mat, what I did was I went ahead and I die cut out some banners right from the middle section, which I'll use to layer over my pieces of paper. So the pattern paper will go directly on top of the foil, and then I'll use those banners to place right on top, those two that I just die cut out, and then I'll use the smaller pieces of paper to cut out smaller banners from the paper to layer them on top of these two foiled banners. So it probably sounds a little more complicated than what it is. You'll see as soon as I walk through this process, I did have some layering banners. So that's what I'm actually using. I've already die cut out of the larger one, and then I'm going to basically cut using a smaller banner. I'm going to die cut the smaller portions of the paper from this template to layer right on top. So, and again, my banner dies are from inloveartshop.com. I will leave a link and a discount code down below. My cardstock foil is Copper Foil by Recollections. I got this from Michael's. And I have already die cut all of my foiled mats. I have those ready to go. I have my larger mats that are going to go right behind it, ready to go. So let's go ahead and make these 5x7 cards. So the very first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down my 6x6 paper to size using Jess's template from this one sheet wonder. So the large piece of pattern paper is 4x6. Now, because I'm using a horizontal card layout, I am going to make sure that I turn my paper on its side and do the 4-inch cut from the side. If you're doing a vertical card, you can actually cut vertically, but I am doing a horizontal cut since I'm doing a horizontal layout. So I've already done the first cut, which was at 4 inches. You'll see here when I layer it in front of my card mat, I have a 1/4 inch border all the way around. And then the final cut will be to cut at 3 inches on that 6-inch side to get 2 pieces of 2x3. Now mine are slightly larger because I left the piece at the top with the hole from the paper pad because I'm going to be die cutting. So I went ahead and just left it in there. Double-sided paper works best for this project because I'm going to be using the opposite side just to add a bit of extra texture and extra kind of pattern to the card itself so it doesn't get lost. So I'm going to just cut down all of the remaining papers that I pulled out, which was 6 sheets of 6x6 paper. I'm going to cut it down to size, which again is a 4-inch cut. And then I'm going to cut that longer strip down into 2 sections of 3 inches. So I have my cuts ready. I have my pattern papers, the paper mats ready to go. Those are 4x6, which is the larger piece from her template, from Jess's template. And then I have the smaller pieces, which are those 2x3s. Again, I will be die cutting, and I will die cut off camera. I'll be right back and we'll finish assembling these cards. So I have already die cut all the smaller banners. Let's go ahead and lay out all of our 6 cards so we can see what they're going to look like and then prep them for the gluing piece. So I'm just laying out my card bases, and then I'm going to basically layer the second mat that I did, which was the colored cardstock. Then on top of that, the first foil mat, which is my copper foil. Then I'm going to layer the piece of pattern paper, which was 4x6, right on top of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer on my 2 banners, my foiled banner, which is the larger banner, and then the paper banner right on top of that, which is what I had die cut with the remaining scraps of this paper. So here are the foiled banners, and then I have the paper banners as well that I will put on top. Now, the original design template calls for using both sections. I'm actually going to save one of them. I felt like it was too much, too overpowering because of all the foil that I'm using. So I'm going to take one off, and I'm adding a stamped sentiment instead. This is one of the stamps from the collection that I got in this kit. And I also have some stamped images that I'm going to use to decorate on top of the smaller banner. So that's what I'm going to be kind of just changing of this from this template just a tiny bit. You can definitely use both. You don't even have to cut them into banners. You can just do directly the way that Jess has in her instructions. I'm just going to be saving these additional banners for future projects, and I am going to toss the scraps that I had left over from my die cuts. So I'm going to stack all of my cards. These are ready to be glued, and I'm going to just start gluing one at a time. So again, I'm doing a horizontal layout. You do not have to do this, but I am doing a horizontal layout because I felt that it worked best with those banners. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer on the outer layer. And then to glue on the card, the 4x6 piece of pattern paper onto my die cut kind of frame, I am adding glue just to the edge of the paper. I don't know if you saw that. To me, that made it a little bit easier to glue this down to my cardstock, to the foiled cardstock. And then I layer that on top. So there we have multiple layers. Then I'm just going to go ahead and finish layering on the set of banners, and then the stitch circle with the stamp sentiment right in the middle of it. And again, that stamp came from this collection. I will have close-up pictures of all of the final cards on my Instagram account, which is Party Planner Papery. So definitely hop on over to Instagram if you'd like to see some close-up pictures of these final cards. I will do a full recap at the end, but on Instagram, you'll be able to see a little bit more of a close-up. I did already stamp, color, and fussy cut those stamped images. I had mentioned in my last video that I had actually ran out and I had to stamp and color and fussy cut some more. Good thing I did, because I'm using a ton of them on this one project here. That's one of the beauties of a stamp, is that you can really extend a collection so much further than what you actually have. And I feel like I'm getting so many additional projects from this one kit this month because I've used a ton of stamped images in almost all of my projects. And so I just find it so cost effective to use these stamps to color and cut and make it basically additional ephemera pieces to embellish all of your projects. So here is my card number 1. It is done. This is what all of my cards will look like, but this is the first one. So you can see here, I turned my pattern around. This is very similar to what Jess's pattern was looking like on her template. And that's the beauty of these templates, is that you can definitely use them for inspiration. You can use them as a starting point to cut your paper, and you can follow it to the T. You can follow it directly with the instructions that it has there, or you can do kind of like what I'm doing, and you're just changing it to kind of make it look a certain way that you want it to look, or just to change it to kind of fit your need, really. And so again, here is the final kind of template you see here, and I'm adding my little stamped sentiments, my stamped images to my card, and it just really elevates the card with these little stamped images, I think, as well. So there's card number 2. So, and one of the things that I loved about these little stamps, they had leaves in them. And the beauty of having a leaf stamp that you get to color is that you really can do no wrong, because the leaves have multiple colors. You can do them all one color, or you can kind of have like an ombre effect with your colors and kind of have them changing, because leaves are changing colors in the fall. And so it makes it really easy to do like a lot of blending on those leaves, and they look fantastic. So I definitely recommend, if you have this stamp set, try it. Try doing multiple colors. I did a red variation, I did an orange variation, I did a yellow variation, and I also had a brown one in my previous colorings. Here's card number 3. So these go really quickly. And again, it makes it so easy when you are assembly lining these cards the way that I am. If you follow the template like Jess has on her website and on her YouTube channel, which again, I will link down below. I'll link her YouTube channel down below so you can get access to her channel, which will then get you access to these templates. And it makes it so easy. And sometimes we don't really want to do a whole lot of thinking when we're crafting. We use it for therapy, or, you know, just to kind of relax or unwind. And this is the perfect project for something like that, because you could just do all of your cuts, assemble them, and then glue them down together. So here is card number 4. So each of these cards looks very similar, but they also have some different things on them. They look sort of different as well, if that makes sense, because you're using different pattern papers and different colored mats, and even though I'm using the same overall style, the same template, and the same even embellishments, they do look each just tiny bit different because of the different pattern papers that we're using in combinations. And again, double-sided paper is the way to go for this project. If you did not have double-sided paper, you could still do this and just mix and match the colors of the banners with some of your prints. What I liked about the B sides, or the backs of the 6x6 papers, here's card number 5. What I liked about those is that the back sides were almost more of like a solid print. They weren't as busy as the front side, so it made it really easy to really break up that really busy pattern with a almost solid colored banner in front. So here we are gluing the last one. This was card number 6. We're at the very end, and I will do a full recap in just a few minutes of each of these different cards, what each of them look like, so you can get a full final recap. This is such an easy project. I really invite you to go over to Jess's channel, pull this template, subscribe to her channel while you're there. She has a ton of excellent ideas, amazing ideas. And that way you can also pull those templates as well. And here is card number 6. So next is the final recap. Again, this was September 2021 Echo Park Club EP. This was project number 4, which is 5x7 fall cards using Jess's One Sheet Wonder for 5x7 cards from a 6x6 paper pad. It was template number 1. This collection is Fall by Echo Park. And here are the 6 cards that I made. Again, I will have close-up pictures on my Instagram, which is Party Planner Papery. So definitely check it out. And I will have links to all of the previous crafty tutorials that are in this part of the series down in the description box below. Make sure you also stay tuned for all of the future videos that I'll be doing with this series. Thanks for visiting, everyone. Hope you subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram, and as always, happy crafting.